This is Earth. It's lit by a star called the Sun, and surrounded by cold, dark space. Thankfully, Earth has an atmosphere which keeps it warm at night. Without this blanket of gas, Earth would look like its dead neighbor, the Moon. While Earth stays relatively comfortable throughout the day-night cycle, the Moon's heating up and cooling down is extreme. Earth orbits the Sun, and over long stretches of time, this path fluctuates, altering how the Sun heats up the atmosphere. This fluctuation drives a cycle of ice ages and hotter periods in Earth's long-term climate. When Earth's orbit causes more sunlight to reach its ice caps, they begin to melt into the oceans. The rising oceans absorb heat instead of reflecting it, raising the global temperature. The added fresh water alters ocean currents, pushing carbon dioxide locked in the ocean's depths up to the surface. CO2, a greenhouse gas, prevents heat from leaving the atmosphere. This triggers a positive feedback loop in which CO2 levels and heat build off of each other. Eventually, a combination of Earth's changing orbit and ash clouds from increased volcanic activity reverse the warming, reverting the climate to a cooler stage. The end result is a gradual, natural cycle of global warming and cooling. This system has cycled on for eons as life evolved across Earth's surface over countless generations. Just as global temperature changes over long periods of time, so does the amount of life on Earth. At points when the temperature trend changes, so does biodiversity. Every so often this triggers devastating mass extinctions, which take life millions of years to fully grow back from. The remains of all this dead biomass, most of it composed of carbon, become buried within the Earth's surface. During a peaceful period in Earth's long-term climate cycle, a species of beautiful monkeys walked, started talking to each other, lit fires for warmth, and raised plants and other animals for food. This rapidly transformed Earth's surface into farmland and bustling cities within a blink of an eye on the biological timeline. They called this population explosion civilization. They named the story of civilization history, and dubbed everything before it prehistory. They found that burning the remnants of ancient biomass in the Earth's surface, which they named coal and oil, could make survival easier. With this discovery, they increased their food production, growing their population sevenfold in just a century. Along with industrial agriculture came wool, water bottles, and rubber ducks. Burning all that coal and oil released ancient stores of CO2 into the sky, suddenly supercharging the global warming feedback loop. As their world suddenly changed, they struggled to come to terms with their situation. Regardless of the climate today, Earth will continue its march around the Sun, and life will return in millions of years as it has in the past. The question we face is not about the resilience of the Earth, but instead about the resilience of the human race. Will the beautiful monkeys act to continue their tenure on Earth, or will they fade into someone else's prehistory?